You are tuned in to the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show on Clear Life Media and galvnews.com. Tonight we have the Yellow Jackets from Galena Park coming down to Texas City to take on the Stings. We have all of the action. Plus, on our pre-show, we talked to some of the players and the coaches about what tonight means to them. And we also went and talked to some of the students in Texas City, including the Galveston College Student of the Week. Stay tuned. We have more coming up on the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show.
Key to the victory is making as little mistakes as possible.
The Galena Park Yellow Jackets take on the Texas City Stings on the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week. Watch live on Clear Life Media and galvnews.com.
Hello and welcome to the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show on Clear Life Media and galvnews.com. We're broadcasting live from the Doyle Convention Center, where the United Way Galveston County Mainland have their kickoff campaign for 2022, and we're going to have more about that later on in this pre-show. Tonight on the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week, we start district play as the Texas City Stingrays take on the Galena Park Yellow Jackets. We spoke with some of the players and the coaches, and we're going to get you all caught up and ready for tonight's game. But first, we're going to talk to James Lacombe of the Galveston County Daily News. I'm now joined by James Lacombe of the Galveston County Daily News. James, we got a big matchup tonight, Texas City, Galena Park. What can we expect from these teams?
Well, this is a really pivotal part of the season. We transition from non-district games to now Texas City and Galena Park are both getting ready to start district play, and it's a pretty big time matchup. I mean, Texas City 2-1 in their non-district games. Galena Park's a perfect 3-0, and none of them have really faced easy competition, I would say. So it's going to be a great test for both teams to start out district, and it's going to be a tough district throughout pretty much. And both teams obviously are teams that made the playoffs last year, and they want to do that again. But also last year they were in different districts, so kind of a fresh matchup and one where they're really going to be able to kind of test themselves against each other and really see, what it's going to take to make the playoffs again this year.
How do these high school students prepare for that switch between preseason play versus district? Because we see it in college football all the time, non-conference versus conference. It's kind of the same thing. But how do you get 17, 18-year-old kids ready for something this big in this kind of event tonight?
I mean, to me, the district games are almost like mini rivalry games in themselves, to where, if, the kids can't get excited for a big-time district opponent and, district play in general, then they're probably going to have a tough time this season. So I don't think it's going to take much from the coaches to get the kids excited for this. It is interesting, they haven't played each other in a long time, these two teams. So there's not a lot of history there, but I think they both realize, that they're both good teams, both have their eyes on making the playoffs, and the first step's going to be tonight, and whoever wins this is going to put themselves in a good position early on to, be a playoff contender.
Awesome. James is going to have more on both teams, Texas City and Galena Park, later in this pre-show. We would like to take a moment to thank all of our amazing sponsors for tonight's broadcast, including Ron Carter League City, the United Way Galveston County Mainland, Texas First Bank, and Galveston College. Without these amazing sponsors, we would not be able to bring this action to you free of charge. So say thank you to them and let them know how much you appreciate what they're doing to bring positivity to education. Still to come on the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show, we spoke to some of the coaches and the players from both Galena Park and Texas City. And we highlight some of the students in show choir and talk about the upcoming performances that they have this school year. All this and more, stay tuned.
I'm River Dickman from Texas City High School. Go Stings!
Nobody said it would be easy. We do it anyways, and we've been doing it for years. It became our mission, a mission to give back to the community. Because this is our community too. It's at the heart of every phone call, meeting, and sale. Here at Ron Carter League City, our community is you. Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. Ron Carter League City, you deserve it. To learn more and shop our inventory, visit roncarterleaguecity.com.
Welcome back to the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show. We are broadcasting live from the Doyle Convention Center, where the United Way Galveston County Mainland kicked off their 2022 campaign. So excited about tonight's matchup between Texas City and Galena Park. But first, I wanted to sit down with the executive director of the United Way Galveston County Mainland about what they have going on this year. I'm now joined by the executive director of the United Way Galveston County Mainland, Leslie. First of all, thank you for sponsoring our broadcast tonight. Tell us a little bit about what's going on here today at the Doyle Convention Center.
Sure. Today at the Doyle Center, we had our 67th annual United Way Galveston County Mainland campaign kickoff. That's a mouthful. And so basically what we did today was we brought in all of our top donors, our supporters, the philanthropic companies within Galveston County Mainland that like to give back to the community. And so we have a luncheon once a year, and this is their opportunity to come. And we had a client testimonial, and we talk about the updates of the United Way, and it just officially kicks the campaign season off.
What is the goal this year for the United Way Galveston County Mainland, and how can somebody help reach that goal?
So this goal this year is $2 million, and I'll break that down for you. There are $1.3 million of that allocated already and committed to the nonprofit agencies within Galveston County Mainland. A lot of those were here today. And so those dollars are pledged, are committed, and then we have about 100,000 of the $2 million that we hold aside for emergency grants that come through. So at nonprofits, there's not a lot of funds set aside in reserves for if an air conditioner breaks down, or if they need their parking lot repaved, or if a natural disaster comes in. So we keep about 100,000 a year just set aside in case there's a grant that comes through, a request. And then the remaining 600,000 is the operating cost, and some of those are related directly to the programs. We have a system that we utilize called Charity Tracker, and so each of our agencies get free access to that. And it's a way for case managers to be able to track when a client receives assistance. So it just helps kind of prevent a duplication of services. And that's just one of many things that we utilize to make sure that we hold the agencies accountable and that we're very transparent with the donor dollars. What I am happy to announce is that the way that we've structured this year is that all 100% of employee donations out of their paycheck, whether it's that or a direct gift, will go right back to those organizations. We're able to sustain our operating costs off of our special events. Those are our golf tournaments, our skeet shoots, our banner sales, our cook-offs. And so 100% of contributions that come through employees at our campaigns are going right back to the organizations.
And that's so huge. But what makes the United Way Galveston County Mainland so unique and different? Well, obviously that's first, but how else do you guys kind of help with that?
So it's really important that people understand what role we play. If you give a gift to an organization, a direct gift, it's an unrestricted gift. There's really no guidelines as to what they can or cannot do with those funds. But when you give to United Way, and again, we don't hold a penny, we give all of those right back to the organizations, but we're able to use our resources to vet the organizations that are going to receive the funding. Are they doing their audits? Are they, filing the proper paperwork they're supposed to be doing? Do they have a governing board? Do they have a diverse board? Are they, helping a diverse group of individuals in the county? And so those are things that we're able to help track. And then quarterly, these agencies have to report back to us how many clients they saw, how much funds they utilized. And if there's funds that were remaining at the end of the year that they didn't, use, they have to give back to the organization. It goes right back into the pot of funds.
Wow, that's awesome.
My name is Ken Anderson from Texas City High School, and you're watching Game of the Week on Clear Life Media. Go Stings.
Earlier this week, I was actually able to go to practice and interview some of the players and coaches at Texas City about the upcoming matchup with Galena Park. Here's what they had to say.
The things that we're supposed to do, we went back to basics, taking the right step, coming, tackling with the right hand, making sure your head's not in the way, just back to basics of football.
I'm now joined again by James Lacombe of the Galveston County Daily News to talk about the Texas City Stingrays and their chances tonight. What are some of the keys for them?
Well, I think, there's no secret to what Texas City wants to do on offense. They're a ground and pound type of team. They have a big old running back and Caleb Bell to make that offense possible, that type of offense. I think just the key for them offensively especially is going to be limiting their mistakes. Despite the varying scores they've had in their non-district games, they've never really had that much trouble moving the ball. It's just like we saw in the Ball High game 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's more about holding on to the ball and not, having so many turnovers that's kind of stymied their offense.
Right.
Defensively, they've been solid throughout non-district play. I think that's going to be a big strength for them too, is their defense. They've got a lot of speed on defense and can really get after opposing teams. Just in general, stay focused, take care of the ball, and, just play their game, and I think they can be successful.
You'd be shocked how many teams say if we can limit the mistakes that they're going to win. That's kind of the key. I talked to Sean Evans, head coach of the Texas City Stings, and he said, man, there's a lot of pressure on these kids as they start district play. And he goes, there's a lot of pressure on me. My mortgage is tied up in these kids, And it was a little funny joke, but it was something that shows the significance and the impact. How can Texas City get prepared for a district game against an opponent that they haven't played in district play before?
Yeah, I can only imagine what Coach Evans is feeling at being his first season as head coach at Texas City and getting ready for this first district game. And it's certainly no pushover they're getting also. So, I think sorry, what was the question again?
The pressure.
The pressure, okay. So I think, there is going to be pressure on them to get a good start in district play. There's going to be pressure on both teams to get a good start in district play, but probably more so I'm sure Coach Evans is feeling it with it being his first season here. He wants to get the team off on the right track and, get them back into the playoffs because, he inherited a playoff team from last year that returned a lot of their players to this year's team. So expectations are pretty high, and it all starts tonight with the district opener.
Some of the amazing things that we get to do on Clear Life Media because of the Game of the Week is we actually get to go into the schools and interview some of the students and the teachers about the different programs that are bringing positivity in our communities. And one of those programs is the Vet Tech program, where students actually get to work with animals and train to one day be a veterinarian.
It was honestly the school just put me in it, and I was like, okay, let's go for it. And I started to really get the hang of everything, started liking vet med and wanted to be a veterinarian.
Well, they take vet tech because they feel like they want to be veterinarians when they grow up, but there's so much more to the vet world than just becoming a veterinarian. So we introduce them to the whole world of being a vet.
We do a bunch of hands-on learning. Last year when I took Vet Med 1, we were learning sutures, diseases, and how we could care for diseases and what you feed your dog and stuff like that.
They get to see the responsibility of taking care of an animal and everything that comes with it, and just being able to have the animals here is really good for the kids because in this day and age it's pretty stressful at school for some people, and to have these dogs, they come in and they can just kind of take a break and just kind of cuddle with these dogs, and it helps them to recharge too throughout their day, and it's just a nice break that they can come in here and really truly have fun learning.
It's preparing me for college because I've gotten internship hours, and to get into most colleges to be a veterinarian you need internship hours.
Going to the clinic every day, going to the clinic and handling dogs, watching dogs that come in really sick and just come out better, just come out looking good.
I love animals. I like to help animals, so if I can do anything to help animals, it makes me happy.
What an amazing program where students are able to get hands-on training to one day do something that they hope to do for a living. One of the cool things about high school, at least for me, was I was in the show choir. And there is an amazing show choir at Texas City. We were able to talk to some of the students. Here's what they had to say about some of their upcoming performances.
Sound Stations is our show choir. What we do is take the music that we are learning. So this is music that is not necessarily classical in nature. This is more popular music, and sing and dance.
We sing and we dance and we go and we do community performances. Yeah, and we're all just really passionate about what we do, basically.
Show choir, I love singing and dancing, and I love doing them separately. I love doing them at the same time. I just enjoy the aspect of it.
The teachers teach the music, the students teach the dance. The kids are enjoying themselves, number one, but also maintaining the spirit and the community aspects of show choir, as well as the Texas City High School choir program in general.
Support us. We're cool, we promise.
Overall, these kids are really talented, and I'm glad to be here to be a part of this.
If you're just tuning in, remember to share out this video, tag a friend, text it to somebody, let them know what's going on. We have an amazing matchup tonight between Texas City and Galena Park. There are multiple ways that you can tune in and watch tonight. First, you can actually do it on Clear Life Media, Facebook and YouTube. You can also go to clearlifemedia.com. It's completely free. Just sign up and watch all of the action. And then also, we have an amazing partnership with the Galveston County Daily News. You can actually tune in and watch the action on galvnews.com. Thank you, Galveston County Daily News, for partnering with Clear Life Media to bring all of the action tonight. Still to come on the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week. We went to Galena Park and talked to some of the players and the coaches. Plus, the Galveston College Student of the Week. Still more to come. Stay tuned.
I'm Peyton Lakin, go Stings.
I'm Corey Moss. I'm the Vice President and General Manager of the Valero Texas City Refinery. It's great to have some time to talk a little bit about Valero and the United Way. You know, we have 6 key values in Valero, one of those being caring. And it's not just caring within the team members of the Valero site and the company, but more importantly, it's about caring in the community. Valero believes in giving back to the community, and it's through the funds and the pledges of our employees and the matching gifts that our company does, we're able to support the agencies of the United Way.
Learn more ways to donate to the United Way Galveston County Mainland and your impact on the community by visiting uwgcm.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show. I'm Kurt Casper with Clear Life Media. Tonight, Texas City is taking on Galena Park in our Game of the Week special. Now, I wanted to tell you a little bit about how we chose tonight's matchup. So we have 5 schools: Santa Fe, Texas City, Lamarck, Hitchcock, and Galveston. And we picked the best game out of those 5 schools. So Texas City, Galena Park, you're tonight's Game of the Week. We are broadcasting live from the Doyle Convention Center in Texas City, where the United Way Galveston County Mainland was able to kick off their 2022 campaign. We spoke to the executive director earlier about what's going on this year for the United Way Galveston County Mainland.
It's important to us because I was once a client of the United Way. And it's funny because before I was a client, I was a donor. I just gave out of my check. And I did, never noticed it, I just gave. And then when I became a client, that's when it really became important for me to understand what United Way does. And I want everyone who is at a situation in their life that needs services to understand that we're here for them. And the way to get that message across is through the networks like yourself, just to reach those in the community that maybe don't know about us or don't know what we offer.
We were actually able to go to Galena Park and interview some of the players and the coaches. Here's what they had to say about tonight's matchup.
Galena Park football, man. We're not the biggest, but we play our hearts out. We're very well trained. The coaching staff, the faculty here, they're real great. And I think that really accounts for a huge part of our success in these past recent years.
They bought into everything that we're doing, the culture change, everything that we brought to Galena Park. These kids are in the fabric of it. And so they've been through it all. They've seen the whole transition. So it's good to see where they are. They bought in. and they've really laid a big foundation for the younger kids that are coming up behind them.
That we need to be dogs on both sides of the field. That's the only way we're going to win.
Right. Details. We know they got a lot of tough guys. We know they're very well coached. They're a very well coached and trained program. We're just going to focus on us, focus on the details, focus on what makes us Galena Park football.
We've got to be clean with the ball, you know, no turnovers. We've got to tackle well. We've got to play well. I think the game's going to be won at the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, you know, the O-line, D-line. We're just excited to be a part of the game, just excited to be able to go down there and, you know, have an opportunity for one of us to come out with a victory.
I'm once again joined by James Lacombe of the Galveston County Daily News. And James, I had the opportunity to go up this week to the east side of Houston to interview some of the players and coaches at Galena Park. That was kind of cool to see a different school in a different district. They looked big. They look like a solid team. What are your thoughts about what their keys to success are tonight?
Well, I think you probably noticed that right off the bat, you know, they're going to be big up front, and from what I could gather, you know, doing a little research on them, is they're going to like to run the ball and run the ball a lot and use
ground
those,
and pound.
Yeah, ground and pound. Use those big hog mollies up front to keep the chains moving. And from what I gathered, they have a couple options, you know, running the ball, and also their quarterback's a mobile quarterback, from what I understand. So. You know, I think keys for them are very similar to keys for Texas City. You know, run your offense, limit turnovers, try to have none if possible.
Right.
Because, I mean, that seems like it's the only thing that's going to slow down, you know, a very rugged, run-heavy team. And defense, you know, I think conditioning is going to be a big deal for them, and we got to see some clips of them practicing before you and I talked. And
yeah, those clips are playing right now. Look, I've never seen anything, and they actually, when they made a mistake, they had to go back to the front of the line, and then they would go one by one by one, and I saw them start over probably like 3 or 4 times, and it was hot on Wednesday. It was boiling hot, and they were doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a method to that madness because, you know, Texas City's going to ground and pound on offense, and that can wear out a defense. And same thing goes Galena Park on offense. You know, they're going to try and ground and pound, but eventually that can wear on an offensive line and on an offense. So doing the drills the way that you described, I mean, I think the secret motive is to get their conditioning up and have them, you know, not be tired at the end by the fourth quarter, and what could very well be a very close game.
I want to thank all of our sponsors of the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week. They're actually on the screen right now. If you would like to sponsor, if you would like to become a part of these amazing broadcasts that reach hundreds of thousands of people, you can actually send us an email. You can actually send us an email to info@clearlifemedia.com. There's packages available for anybody. Still to come on the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show, we have the Galveston College Student of the Week. Stay tuned.
This is Timothy Marshall from the Galena Park Yellow Jackets, and you're watching the Game of the Week on Clear Life Media.
Hi folks, my name is Chris Hoot. This is my wife, Diana Hoot. We're with Who's Hoot Realty Group, powered by Keller Williams of Clear Lake. We're longtime residents of Galveston County. We were both born and raised in Texas City, graduated from Texas City High School. We specialize in residential and commercial real estate. So if you're looking to sell, buy, lease, or rent property, please reach out to us. Who's Hoot Realty Group, the ones who can.
Thank you, Texas First Bank, for sponsoring the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week. Learn more about Texas First Bank at www.texasfirst.bank.
Welcome back to the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week pre-show. I'm Kirk Casper with Clear Life Media. Tonight, the Texas City Stingrays take on the Galena Park Yellow Jackets. It's week 1 of district play. The schedules are wiped clean. We were able to sit down with James Lacombe, and here's some of our predictions for tonight's matchup. We are moments away from the start of tonight's matchup between Texas City and the Galena Park. I'm joined once again by our expert, James Lacombe of the Galveston County Daily News. And James, I went to both of these practices, and one thing that stood out, right now in high school football, there's this basketball mentality where they want to score as many points as possible. These two teams, that is not their focus. That is not what they want to do. They want to keep it low. They want my kind of football, you know, growing up a Husker fan, it was that ground and pound. Just go to the line of the scrimmage, get 3, get 4 yards. My thought is this, and then I'll ask you your thoughts. If Caleb Bell of Texas City has over 30 attempts rushing the ball tonight, Texas City wins. I know that sounds weird, but if he can get to 30 rush attempts, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 yards rushing. He may not break one out, but if he can do that, they will walk away with a victory. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd have to tend to agree with that because if he's getting that many touches, that means Texas City is controlling the ball on offense.
Right.
And, you know, keeping their defense off the field and not turning the ball over and, you know, just running their offense smoothly and effectively and, you know, just keep feeding Bell and say, you know, this is what we're going to do, try and stop it. So,
right.
So, yeah, I tend to agree that that would be a big key to victory if they can get him that many carries.
So what is your final for the score? What prediction do you have for the score?
Well, you know, with two running focused teams that are going to try and control the clock on offense, two solid defenses, I think it's going to be a low scoring, you know, ground and pound on offense, defensive struggle, whatever you want to call it. I will say as a final score, Texas City 20, Galena Park 17.
One of the cool parts about tonight's broadcast is we get to award the Galveston College Student of the Week. Here's the one from Texas City.
I'm Jayla Medina at Texas City High School, and I'm Student of the Week.
Jayla was nominated simply because Jada is a role model here on our campus. She is everything that we hope all of our students strive to be, and that is involved as she is in the HOSA, HST, she goes out and competes. So that is one of the reasons why I think she is deserving of Student of the Week.
School spirit is important to me because this is high school. I mean, I've been here 4 years. It's important because you wanna have fun throughout high school. You wanna have fun with anything you do, and high school is a big part of your life, so why not have fun? Always want better for your peers, and don't settle and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Thank you, Galveston College, for sponsoring the Student of the Week.
Begin your path toward a rewarding career by enrolling at Galveston College. Choose from 50-degree and certificate programs. Galveston College, your home away from home. Learn more at gc.edu.
If you would like to sponsor, send us an email at info@clearlifemedia.com. Todd, Clay, take it away.
Key to the victory is making as little mistakes as possible.
The Galena Park Yellow Jackets take on the Texas City Stings on the Ron Carter League City Game of the Week. Watch live on Clear Life Media and galvnews.com.